Hi everyone, welcome to the SDG Pavilion here at COP28 in Dubai. I'm Ariel Alexevich with the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Throughout these 2 weeks, we're going to have a lot of programming, interviews, fireside chats, events, all talking about how the Sustainable Development Goals are connected to climate action and why action on one agenda helps the other. So I'm so pleased to be here with the Deputy Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union, Mr. Tomas Lamanauskas. Tomas, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ariel. It's a pleasure.
Great. And so, sir, you have a big new initiative coming up this week. Can you tell us about that, please?
Thank you, Ariel. With pleasure. So it's Green Digital Action Track, in which we, together with 40 and more than 40 partners from the digital industry, from the governments, from other intergovernmental organizations, are coming together here at COP to make sure that the digital industry really steps up its act in terms of fighting the climate crisis. I think for very long, the digital industry was very proud of the fact that we are helping other industries with the sustainability initiatives. We actually, we save 10 times more emissions than as industry we emit. But as we now coming into the stage which every molecule of CO2 matters. We cannot just hide behind that fact. And I think part of this also initiative here is coming here with a really taking the responsibility from what we can do ourselves as digital industry to really make sure that we both help others, but also we are putting our own house in order.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations on this initiative. And I think we should mention it launches tomorrow. There's an event here.
Indeed, tomorrow morning. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And can you talk a little bit more about this connection between digital technology and climate?
So digital technology has a lot of opportunities to help fight climate crisis, from monitoring, from our satellite imagery, for example, from various sensors that can help monitor the climate, in satellite, in submarine cables, and in other ways, to helping other industries, as I mentioned, in terms of, for example, smart meters, that can help us to reduce energy use or transport efficiency, as well as adaptation, for example, to help mitigate the effects of disasters through our early warnings initiative, early warnings for all initiative that was launched by Secretary General Guterres and tries to bring all the world within the reach of early warning systems by 2027. So digital industry can really help in that fight. However, digital industry itself is also an emitter, and not maybe a huge one. We estimate around 1.5 to 4% emissions of the global emissions from digital industry, but still these are emissions. And with digitalization growing, there is the risk that can grow. Energy use can grow, emissions can grow, but also other aspects, for example, as e-waste, electronic waste that can contain hazardous materials and also uses important critical minerals. So as well as water use, for example, that are needed to cooling data centers. So as we help others, as I mentioned, it's very important for us to take responsibility that industry grows in a sustainable way, and it grows in a way that doesn't contribute to the climate crisis, but really helps it.
Yes, absolutely. And oftentimes when we're talking about digital technology, we talk about the digital gap, digital divide. And I wonder, how can the initiative that you're speaking of really help us close that gap and be the most inclusive it can be to help the most people?
So thank you very much. So this initiative is inclusive in many ways. One way is inclusive that it really brings all the different stakeholder groups together. It brings private sector, it brings governments, it brings intergovernmental organizations, it brings civil society to really step up together, co-create initiatives together, commit together, and implement together. But also, as an important part of that is this peer support element, which has a number of commitments we'll be hearing about in the next few days, next week or so, here on the Green Digital Action Track. You'll hear things like peer support group for implementation of the standards, so that industry, not only governments, but industry across the board, can help other peers to implement the green standards that can help increase the sustainability of the industry. You'll hear things as commitments to help countries on e-waste policies from different countries. So really the idea is to really come together to really shine the light of the best practices and then help others to come along to really commit but in a meaningful way and to help them to implement those commitments.
Oh, very cool. And can you tell us, this initiative, these companies you're talking about, this includes lots of countries around the world, all regions? How global is your endeavor?
I mean, ITU by itself is a global organization. We part as you are, part of the UN, and we have a few other parts of UN joining us in there, as a United Nations Environmental Program. We also have a World Bank as part of that initiative, and we have also private sector as well. And I mean, it's still, as regretfully, as an initial push, it's a lot of times it's coming from developed world, but we are really investing a lot to make sure that we bring all the world with us. And as I mentioned, these things as peer support initiatives are exactly there. So that's not just bringing others for ticking the box, but bringing others in a meaningful way and helping them to be part of that movement.
I love it, bringing everyone along to leave no one behind.
Exactly.
It's critical. So, sir, what else are you looking forward to at COP, just as a closing question?
So thank you very much. As we heard Secretary General this morning, the world is a bit of a gloomy stage, and we are here heading up to the hottest year on the record. We basically just shy of 1.5 degrees, 1.4 degrees, this year increase, and we really see the disasters around the world, and we see not that much will sometimes to resolve these issues, So, regretfully, this is the state of the world. So we need that COP to be that, ray of hope, if you will, but with a real ray of hope, with the actionable commitments, with people coming together, with demonstrating that we can still work, together. So in our small way, through Green Digital Action track, we'll try to demonstrate that we can come together, we can both do it for ourselves and lead others by showing that example, and we hope that will be many more of similar initiatives around here in this COP that all together will come into this really movement that will hopefully help overcome the climate crisis that we're facing.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, sir, for being here, and we wish you the best of luck with the Green Digital Action track, and we hope we can follow up with you at a future COP or later at another event. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you everyone for watching at home.
Thank you very much, Ariel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.